everyone, it's Reagan here with the Crafty Penny, and I wanted to share a few cards in this video that I made for you guys using two new products to me, one being the Concord 9th Fill In Floral set and the second being the Distress Oxide Inks from Ranger. These are new. There are 24 colors currently. I only have 7 right now, so I have Worn Lipstick, Cracked Pistachio, Broken China, Wilted Violet, Fossilized Amber, Firebrick, and Faded Jeans. And then here I have the Concord 9th Fill In pattern paper. There are 6 patterns. One side's blank for you to apply your color with your stencils, and then the other side is just a plain pattern. Like I said, there are 6 in there, and there are 4 of each. You get your stencils with your first layer and your second layer of the flowers. I think that's really adorable. And then you get this giant stamp set that has 4 huge greetings. You have some leaves, some hearts, the flower that matches the stencil, and the stem that goes with it. And I think that these sentiments on here are great. Here I have a card that I made at the Simon Says Stamp Creative event in April. I just wanted to quickly show you guys that this is how it looks when it is finished using the stamp set, the pattern, and the stencils, and I think it is amazing. So first I'm going to be doing my first pattern with a bottom layer of Broken China. I'm going to be dabbling and kind of twisting and stippling this on because this is a very pigmented ink. It is part pigment, part dye ink, so it does blend a little bit better than the regular Distress inks, and I have to say I am highly impressed with these. I think these go on amazing. They're like butter. So like I said, I'm just kind of doing that twisting and that blending until I get all that color on there and make sure that I can't see any of the paper underneath. For this second layer, I'm going to come in with Faded Jeans Distress Oxide ink as well. This is a much darker blue than this. It has a little bit more of a purple tone, but I think they paired really nice. I didn't have a sponge for this. I didn't have any extra, so I just used the one that I used with the Broken China, and you can see up in the corner that I was kind of really trying to get that color off that blender so that I could use it. For this, I didn't really do as much blending. I just kind of pounced and twist a little bit because I didn't want it to blend too much with that blue underneath, because then you wouldn't really be able to see those lines. For this pattern, I'm going to be coming in with Wilted Violet for this base layer. This color is absolutely gorgeous. It stands out so well with these pattern papers, and it's definitely my favorite one out of all of them. Again, I'm still doing that same kind of twisting and pouncing motion just to get that color on there. After a while, it does get a little exhausting, so you'll see me kind of just be lazy with it, but gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. And as well, I'm going to be drying each layer with my heat gun so that way it doesn't blend, and then that way this is dry so that when I come in with this next color, which I'm actually going to be using Wilted Violet again. I didn't have any other purples in the Distress Oxide inks to really do, or for something to really go well with this, so I decided that it would be easier to use each color together, or I guess is the same on top of each other, and it actually turned out really well. You can see that I lifted it up there to see if it was actually working, and I really think it worked really well. Okay, for this pattern I'm going to be using Cracked Pistachio, and I kind of taped off all the other places on this pattern because this one isn't a full floral pattern, so I really needed to make sure that I didn't get that anywhere else on the paper. This is probably one of my second favorite colors in the Distress Oxide inks. I think it is such a unique color, and it literally is fluorescent when you look at it in real life. I think it's pretty true to real life on camera too. Again, coming in with that second stencil with Cracked Pistachio again, kind of really just do the same thing over and over again. So I will be fast forwarding, or I will keep the speed up a little bit so that way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me blend like 6 papers, you know, in an hour. Now I'm coming in with Fossilized Amber. I think this one turned out really well. The Fossilized Amber worked the best because I feel like it definitely changes colors once it's dry. When it goes on, it's very, very, very bright and kind of a mustardy bright. but once it dries, it turns to like a brown tone yellow, and it actually looks really good. And I think that's the second layer of it even looks better because it definitely is a different color than the first layer, and I really think it looks unique with this one. For this one, I'm coming in with worn lipstick. This is kind of same style pattern as I did with the cracked pistachio, so you'll just see me kind of cover up all the other places. I really messed up on some of these because I really got a lot of the color on the edge, and you'll see me kind of try to tape off pieces of the edge here so that I don't get it everywhere, but I still get it everywhere, so it doesn't matter now. Also, be sure to clean your stencils in between each use. I prefer to just take mine right to the sink, dry it, I set it on a towel, and then I get the other one. So then I kind of have like a assembly line going, and it really actually works well. But if you don't want to do that, you can either keep like a bucket of water in your craft room or just use baby wipes. They work fine, but they will leave a bit of a residue. Okay, so for this last pattern, I'm actually going to come in with all the colors that I use. So broken china, fossilized amber, worn lipstick, cracked pistachio. I come in first with worn lipstick, and I kind of try to make sure that I get the color on, not in the same places, kind of space it out everywhere. And I do 4 of each color, which worked out perfect because that was the amount of flowers on there. And I think these colors actually really go well together. I think they really stand out and kind of look, I don't know, they're very fun and very bright. Especially with the blue and the yellow, they really tone down that kind of spring feel that this gives. I messed up a little bit on there because I did not pay attention as to that was a small flower. So you'll see that I kind of try to blend the blue that I got on the pink, but in the end I don't really worry about it, and you can't really tell afterwards. Like I never really noticed it after that, especially after I come in with the second layer. So if you get it, just if you do the same thing, just kind of try to blend it out and it'll look fine, especially when you go over it with the second layer of stencils. Okay, so here are all the papers. I made 6. This first one is the cracked pistachio. This one is the wilted violet, fossilized amber, the broken china and faded jeans, worn lipstick, and then all the ones together. Here I'm just going to quickly show you that I cut out all the panels with the Simon Says Stamp rectangle stitch dies. This is the largest one out of the set. It is slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I cut all the panels out with that just to kind of have a cute little stitch look. So originally I messed up a lot of this, but first I'm just going to quickly show you guys that I stamped these 2 panels that have the flowers kind of off to the side. I kind of stamped these off center. This one I'm stamping the You Make All the Things Better. First I just put down some baby powder, then some VersaFine, and I'm going to cover it in Ranger's clear embossing powder, and I will heat set that, and it gives it a very nice, very classy look. Originally, all the other ones I was going to be doing vellum with. You'll see in a little while that does not happen. But first, like I said, I'm just doing these. And then the only thing I hate about VersaFine ink is that it stains your stamps very easily. So I will be cleaning them off in between each time I use them with the Hero Arts scrubber and cleaner. And then for this one, this is the worn lipstick. I'm going to be coming in with the Get Your Happy On stamp from the stamp set as well, using VersaFine. Cover it with clear embossing powder and heat emboss it. I heat emboss all of these. You'll see that throughout. I think it gives such a neat look, especially if you're kind of looking for like a simple, almost one layer card, I guess you could say, you can really do a lot with these patterns. For this one, I'm coming back in and I'm going to be dusting baby powder on it. Because I don't have an anti-static powder tool, I decided to test out some baby powder, and it actually worked really well for me. I noticed that I didn't have any powder sticking where I didn't want it, so I am very happy with that. I'm going to be coming in with the I Miss You Terribly stamp set, or stamp from the set, and stamping it with Versamark ink as well, covering it with clear embossing powder and heat embossing it like I did the two previous panels. This one I kind of messed up a lot of the or a lot of the powder, so I kind of have to go in a lot and fix that. But it turns out okay, and it all worked out fine. Okay, so this is where I took off that vellum panel that I had originally put on the Wilted Violet set, and I'm stamping the exact same sentiment that I was going to put on there with some VersaFine ink on a Neenah Solar White. I think it's a 110-pound cardstock cut from the die that is the same dice from the set that I used on the original panels, just one of the smaller ones. I decided that since I had ripped up that vellum, I needed something to cover it up, and I just decided, you know what, I'll just go for a little white panel, and I will foam tape that on there and kind of make it stand up, which kind of sucked because then I ran out of foam tape and I couldn't foam tape the rest of them up. So this is the only one that has dimension like it does, but I still think it looks great. For the Broken China and Faded Jeans panel, I don't know why I'm putting powder on it. I guess I thought I was going to heat emboss it. I don't know, but I don't decide to do that. I actually decide to take another stamp from the stamp set, and I'm going to be heat embossing with the Distress Oxide Inks, which was my original plan in the beginning with the vellum, but like I said, that didn't work out. So I'm going to be using the You Make All the Things Better stamp with the Wilted Violet ink, stamp that onto the panel. I'll cover it in clear heat embossing powder, and I will heat emboss it. Now, it does not heat emboss as well as something like VersaFine or Versamark ink or a lot of pigment inks, but it still heat embosses very well for the formula that it is, and I think it actually looks great. And it gives you kind of another way to use them instead of just blending or anything else. You can actually stamp with them and heat emboss, and it looks great. I'm just going to glue this one on. Like I said, I didn't have any more foam tape, so I had no choice but to glue it on. For this panel, for the Fossilized Amber one, I'm going to be putting the Good Vibes with the Broken China Distress Oxide ink. I think this one turned out really well. I think the blue and the I guess yellowy gold color looks really well together. It's probably one of my favorites. Going to quickly glue that on there. I turned it sideways because I wanted something to look a little bit different. Here are all the panels after I have them done. Now I'm going to be matching them up with some envelopes. As you can tell, I found some that match and some that didn't really match. I just wanted them to kind of look complete, and I think these actually really turned out really well with these envelopes. This one's probably my favorite with that baby pink and the cracked pistachio. I just think it looks so unique, and it really kind of stands out. I have a lot of trouble with these last three because there wasn't really anything that matched them well enough. I didn't think the green looked well. I did not think that orange looked well. So I went ahead and just stuck with the navy blue because it was close to black. For this one I got the magenta, and I think it actually kind of complements the worn lipstick very well, and I think that complements the sketch look. And then I picked like a dark teal for that one because I felt like it kind of matched the Faded Jeans a little bit. Okay, So now I'm coming in with the Simon Says Stamp in envelope sentiment stamp set, and I'm trying to match some of my inks that I have so that I can stamp the outside of the envelope just to kind of give it a matched kind of feel. I don't have that many inks, so I kind of have to just go with what looks best. But I think it all turned out very well, and I'm very pleased. And plus, the stamp set is absolutely adorable, you guys. So, okay, I'm going to actually, I spent a couple minutes trying to figure out what I want to do, but I finally decided that I want to put the hearts and the Hug Me sentiment. I decided not to stamp anything on the front because I wasn't ready for that yet. I just decided that, oh, when I send these out, I will go ahead and stamp it then. I just put some Versamark ink on there because the stamps were new and I haven't used them, so I wanted to get them kind of loved. So for this one, I put Simon Says Stamp High Dive. This one, I put Hero Arts Butter Bar. I think it looks great. I didn't have any light pink, so I used Soft Lilac from Altenew in their crisp inks. It kind of gives a little bit of a purpley gray shadow, but I still think it complements the pink well enough to use it. I'm going to be using Dusty Sage for this kind of light green color. I don't even know what you would call that, but I think it matched perfect. And then I'll use Ultra Pink from Hero Arts for this magenta envelope. It is a little bit brighter, but it kind of blends well enough that you can still see it, but it's not too much. And because I didn't have a navy blue, I'm just going to use Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. I think that worked fine, and it still complements the envelope well enough. So here are the cards now that they are finished and set in the envelopes. I think these turned out absolutely adorable. I really enjoyed playing with the stencil and the stamps and the patterns, and especially the new Distress inks. And I highly recommend you guys try this out. It is so much fun, and definitely try out heat embossing with your Distress Oxide inks. It gives you something new and fun to do. So I will have everything linked down below as well as on the blog. If you have any questions, please let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, you guys.